here's our practice drawing, and I wanted to refer to a couple of things here. One, I'm using much different colors than I used in that one, and that's okay. Every drawing that I do, especially when I'm doing chalk drawings, every drawing is kind of a unique product in and of itself, and this one will be too. I wanted us to look at our hills here. One thing that you want to keep in mind as you work on really kind of any kind of a landscape, but especially with pastels, is there are a number of different ways to show perspective, to show distance, and like with these mountains, we have to be really careful not to use a color that is too dark or too deep or too bright or even too bold. Because if we do that, it pulls that mountain into the foreground. See how we have kind of a nice feel here of distant mountains, distant hills. We want to keep that feel because we want our focus to be mostly up here. This, if this were a painting of mountains and that was the primary focus, then I would be throwing a whole lot more detail into it. Likewise, if this were to be a painting about clouds, I would put a lot more detail in the clouds. And as you see, here we've got some distant clouds, and they're kind of ornate, but I haven't put as much detail into them as I could, and the reason is I don't want people's eyes to primarily be focusing on that. So we're going to try to again have these distant hills, but we're going to do it in a way that they're going to feel distant rather than be up close. And one of the best ways to do that is with color. Now, a lot of times when I'm working on a chalk drawing, I draw the mountains in blue. In this particular case, I'm going to go with the green because I want to separate the mountains from the back of the sky, or from the horizon area of the sky. But it's going to be a very light green. And again, not a lot of detail. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to give kind of a suggestion of mountain shapes. Okay. See, I have to work on the value here because if you're looking at this, even though these are different colors, the value, which is the lightness or darkness of the particular color, is such that it almost merges with that background blue. So this green is a little bit too light to stand on its own. Now I'm going to bring in my kind of medium green. You notice I'm breaking these sticks too. If you buy pastels and you find that you get some broken sticks, that's okay. Because half the time when I'm working with pastels, I break them anyway, because I like a smaller stick to work with. So let's try that kind of a medium green here, and just come in over top. Again, just a gentle feel. I think that's going to make a little bit better base. It's going to stand out a little bit more. Again, I want it to stand out from the sky, but I don't want it to totally come into the foreground. So I'm going to make my base color that kind of a lighter green, or sort of a medium green actually. I'm also not going to make the mountains particularly detailed, as in super sharp rugged peaks, because again the mountains are not my primary focus. I just want to get a nice feel for some hills here. And even some rolling hills. You don't even have to take the peaks out and make it more rolling hills. See what we got here. Just going to use my fingers to blend. Okay, let's shake off a little of that. I'll clean my fingers off just a bit. Use my blending stump here just a touch to work on these edges of the hill. Okay. Now the one thing that I might do, and again, because I threw the sunset effect in here, the sun is behind, so you're not going to have real strong side lighting either way. I'm gonna add just a little bit of darkness here, just because I want to make this define just a little bit more, not a ton. Okay, but almost like the feel of some distant, tree lines in there. And I'm going to kind of leave it at that. So you don't really need a whole lot of detail in this particular part of the drawing. Fairly easy. Main thing to avoid is don't make your mountains sharp peaks. Okay, think in terms of rolling hills. And you'll notice when I'm practicing here, I use white, and that's because white is very easily drawn over. It, as a rule, isn't going to interfere with the rest of the picture. So it's a good practice tool. Okay, so that's our distant hills, not really even distant mountains. Go ahead and work on that. And then when you're ready, go on to the next section. And in the next section, we're going to take our next step, and that's going to be to add in these trees. Okay, so have fun with the mountains and come back for the trees.